Hi everyone, Harry here to talk about some mighty fishy sounding payments and other forms of compensation to witnesses in the Trump circle or in the Trump organization who were playing some role in one of the or other of the investigations swirling around him. And therefore, just as with Weisselberg, remember Weisselberg's arrangement that effectively kept him from testifying at the recent trial. He had this big severance payout, and he was required not to cooperate voluntarily with investigators, and therefore they couldn't question him in advance, didn't know what he would say, and that's the reason they never called him. He could have been a valuable witness, but they calculated accurately they could get by without him. Anyway, there's a bad smell to that and a potential crime, and the crime would be obstruction in the form of trying to influence the testimony of a witness to a public proceeding. So there are a variety of public proceedings, including one in Congress, that figure in here. Tough cases to prove, and this is, as always, Trump and Trump organization going at least up to the line, maybe a little over it, but not so much as to, with all the other things to worry about with them, get law enforcement hot and bothered on their tail, or maybe pretty far over, especially when we're talking about, over 10 instances that an article from ProPublica, the sort of a watchdog investigative group, has just documented. Not all of them are of witnesses to the in specific proceedings, which would make it even harder. And some of them are lawyers who get legal fees. But at least a couple seem like, man, that's a lot of money, and it seems connected potentially to their being witnesses. So a kind of a sweetheart deal to keep them, close to the fold. All right. We've got, in particular, Dan Scavino. He's, as you may remember, he's Mr. Social Media for Trump. He's also, the loyalist and political appointee who is brought into the White House and is basically, a point person on January 6th itself. He, in fact, probably testified falsely about the whole mini episode where Trump wants to command the Secret Service to go to the ellipse and tries to grab the wheel. Scavino testifies differently from other important witnesses. He, in any event, is a total Trump loyalist. He's nothing without him, and was elevated to a really important role, and unusually in operations role, especially on January 6th. So he also was to testify in August of 2021 to the congressional investigation. He was around then given a tremendous sweetheart deal of a big amount in consulting fees, $240,000, then another $600,000 so-called retention bonus, and several $1 million in stock for the company. So, at a minimum, right, that looks like a loyalty bounty, a reward fee. That's not, quite the same as, it certainly keeps him on the reservation. What you need to show is that this was done to influence his testimony, and it gets, tricky as a federal crime or the equivalent state crimes. On the other hand, it sure stinks. And then similarly, Evan Corcoran, like another witness named Jen Little, he gets a fair bit of money, but he also does a lot of legal work, and that I think gives an extra kind of argument to the Trump team. But there's also a woman named Susie Willis. She's a Florida political consultant, and she was a grand jury witness down in Mar-a-Lago, and shortly thereafter, she got a fairly hefty raise. She's a kind of a lowish level employee in the Trump organization, but she got a raise of 20%. But more significantly, perhaps, the Trump White House then hired her daughter as a political appointee, the fourth highest paid person in the White House. Again, there seems to be a link. You worry about it, but a very tough case to prove. We probably would know if a file had been opened on it and they're really investigating it. Well, it's often the case that a press report like this from ProPublica would trigger some kind of more information about if anything's going on. My best guess is not. Just because these, as I say, hard cases to prove and a lot of fish to fry in Trump world. But the whole thing is just, of a piece with the whole mob boss operation that is the Trump organization. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.